Hi, I'm Kim. I've done a few videos on Telogen effluvium, which is a form of hair loss. And the reason I did it is because I suffered from it, or have been suffering from it. And I've gotten so much response from those videos that I thought I should do a more in-depth video on what Telogen effluvium is and what causes it, and the different treatments that you can use to help alleviate the symptoms. So stay tuned and we'll get right into it. So Telogen effluvium, what is it? Telogen effluvium is a form of temporary hair loss. Telogen effluvium is different from permanent hair loss. Your hair can grow back after telogen effluvium, whereas alopecia areata, which is hair loss that's permanent but in patches, your hair doesn't really grow back after that unless you do some drastic measures. So what causes telogen effluvium? Telogen effluvium can be caused by stress, illness, malnutrition, different things that are going to cause your body to divert the nutrients that you need from your hair to the rest of your body. And in my case, I got very ill and lost a lot of blood, and I went to the hospital, and I was in the hospital for 6 days, and I was able to recover physically, and it was after that my hair fell out. So when you have the initial incident, it's usually 2 to 3 months later when you start to notice the hair loss. And the reason for that is your hair grows in different stages. There are 3 stages of hair growth. The 3 stages of hair growth are the antigen stage. The antigen stage is the growing period of the hair follicle. Then your hair goes into the intermediate stage, which is the catagen stage, when it kind of just settles in. And the first one, your hair is growing actively, and then when it stops growing actively, it kind of settles into one spot, and then it goes through the 3rd stage, which is the telogen stage, or the resting or shedding stage. After an illness, your hair goes into the telogen stage in a large proportion of your hair follicles, and then after a couple of months, your hair then falls out because it's been in telogen stage. So basically, when you're sick and your body's diverting the nutrients it needs to from your hair to your to the rest of your body, then your hair's not getting nutrition, so it goes into that resting phase, and then because it's in the resting phase, it can fall out. So what are the symptoms of telogen effluvium? So basically, the symptoms of telogen effluvium are going to be your hair falling out, and not the normal amount of shedding that you would have, which would be like 50 to 100 hairs a day, but huge amounts of hair. I lost hair by the handfuls. It would come out in sheets. It was really horrible. But I think the first thing I noticed before I really noticed the hair falling out in horrible amounts is my scalp got painful. It got very painful. I equate it to when you have your hair up in a ponytail and you keep it up there too long, and then you take it down and your hair follicles hurt. That's what it felt like, even when my hair wasn't up in a ponytail. it was very, very painful, and it started in the back and kind of moved its way around and kind of went up a little higher, and it was very painful, and it got a little scary. And then the hair started coming out, just in, like I said, in handfuls. It was really scary. You get afraid to wash your hair in the shower, because when you shower your hair, you normally lose some hair, but it's just a lot more noticeable. I noticed there was hair everywhere I went. There was hair everywhere. I think that I lost a good 60 to 70% of my hair. It's coming back now, but it's been several months. It's been around 6 months since that started for me. A lot of people ask, how much hair will you lose from Telogen effluvium? And most people lose between 50 and 70% of their hair, which is a lot. I know that when it first happened to me, I had to be very careful with how I placed my hair. I did strategic styling, otherwise you could see my scalp. I used to get compliments on my hair every day. Everywhere I went, people would say, "Oh my gosh, you have beautiful hair." That stopped, of course. I had very thin, very brittle, just awful hair. But today, I actually got a compliment on my hair again, so that was pretty nice. Can you go bald from Telogen effluvium? Thankfully, no. You won't go bald from it. You feel like you're going bald from it. You feel like you are bald, especially if you've had very thick hair. But no, you won't go bald from it. It's not a permanent hair loss. It will grow back. And I think when I started noticing my hair growing back, it felt itchy and a little prickly, and like just tickly, is more the word. Because the little hairs are growing in, and you could feel like my new hair is probably about, well, maybe this long now, and I can feel my hair is fluffier and thicker around my head, and then not so much down here. But yeah, it's really not a fun thing to go through. It's pretty devastating. But you won't go bald. So treatments for Telogen effluvium. What I did is I went to the beauty supply and I got minoxidil. Nioxin makes a minoxidil scalp treatment, 5% minoxidil, and I used it every day, twice a day, for a month. And if you had permanent hair loss, you would have to keep using that forever. Because my hair loss wasn't permanent, what it does is it gets the hair to get out of telogen stage. So your hair will start growing again and start coming back. Because those follicles, even though that hair fell out, those follicles are still in that resting stage. So I think the most important thing and the best thing that I did was use the minoxidil. And I really recommend it because from what I've gathered from the comments that I've gotten, it's taking people a lot longer to see hair growth than it has taken me. And I really think it's because I went right away and I got that minoxidil. I've been taking biotin every day. I take lysine. I take regular multivitamins. I try not to stress, so I'll take hot Epsom salt soaks to relax, and because stress is a big part of it. So you want to make sure that you de-stress your life, you're getting plenty of vitamins, getting nutrition, and see the doctor, because if you have an underlying condition that you haven't taken care of, your hair will not grow back until you take care of that underlying condition that made it start in the beginning anyway. So one of the biggest questions is, how long till my hair grows back? Well, for me, I started noticing regrowth. Let me walk that back a moment. Let's go through the timeline. So for me, I noticed the painful scalp and everything and started losing my hair, I want to say in May of this year, 2018. And then it finally stopped, I want to say in July, the shedding stopped. But again, I started using the minoxidil right away. So then, well, I think I got the minoxidil in June. I used it the whole month of June. And then in July, I noticed the shedding stopped. Then I want to say around August, September is when I started noticing little hairs coming back. And I do definitely have regrowth. My hair is getting thicker. It was really, really thin on the sides and really, really thin on the top. But it's coming back. It's still not the hair that I used to have, but it's much better. So it's been a total of 6 months right now for me. And my hair is definitely improving. I can see a huge improvement to my hair. So hopefully by the time a year rolls around, my hair will look really good again. So I've heard different people tell me it's taken 2 or 3 years. But again, I think using the minoxidil right away, if this is something that you're just starting to go through, get the minoxidil. I promise you it will help. It made all the difference for me. So basically, it's a horrible nightmare, but the outcome will be good. You will grow your hair back. It's a struggle. It makes you feel awful. It's hard to go through, but you're not alone. Please leave me some comments. Let me know your story. I like to respond to everybody that messages me. And hopefully this video gives you some good information and helps you. If it does, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe.